Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the event organized by GDG Wrocław. Today, Elyes Manai will talk about how to become a GDE, and we encourage you to ask questions. We'll give away 2 JetBrains licenses at the end of the meeting. Elyes,
can I get one too?
Yeah, if you ask a question, why not?
All right.
Elyes, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being here. So it's the first time that I actually do a session for Poland. So really happy to be with you. And as Carol just mentioned, so today is going to be about Google Developer Experts, or GDEs in short, and what they are, why it's awesome to become one, and what are the steps to become one. The good thing is that these steps used to be private and confidential information. Some of them have become public now. So we're going to try to share this with you and give some tips. In my case, I'm a GDE in machine learning. And I've just became a GDE also. So I onboarded like 3 months ago, I think, in November. And I'm actually, so there's like only 5 or 6, I think, in my region. So I come from Tunisia, which is located in North Africa. Good climate here. I do invite you to come here for a quick swim. And in our MENA region, there's like only 11 GDEs, 6 of them being in machine learning, or 7 of them. And I managed to be to just onboard, and I'm now the youngest machine learning GDE in the region. And this is actually a point I want to bring out, as the question of being an expert and being a senior, so in age especially, is something that I have been pondering a lot about, and I've seen many ask. So let's start from the beginning. What is a Google Developer Expert? So the GDEs, or Google Developer Experts, is a program made by Google, of course. And I'm just going to share my screen right now to show you a bit. If on stage, can I share my my screen, Carol? Yeah, thank you. All right. So if I go to Google Developer Experts, yep. So as you can see, it's a global network of high experience technology experts. So basically what it does is Google has tried to get a bunch of people that are not only technical experts, but also community actors in their community and in their specialty from all over the world, as you can see. And each of these experts is not only a specialist in his own domain, like it could be in Android, it could be in machine learning, it could be in Kotlin. There's a whole bunch of technologies you can be an expert in. So Android, Angular, Assistant, Dart, Firebase, Flutter, etc. You can go on, and then until you find machine learning, which is my category. And the goal is to have like a global network of people that are experts in this domain and that are helping the ecosystem by doing talks like the one I'm doing right now, helping communities all over the world to get better, to manage to work on projects that are interesting, open source, articles, workshops, etc., etc. And here I am. Ooh. And the thing is, becoming a GDE expert, so a Google Developer Expert or GDE in your specialty, actually allows you to get a number of benefits. First of all, being featured in this list, because as a GDE there are not many. There are only 900 GDEs in total all over the world, and then depends on your specialty. Mine, machine learning, has 160 all over the world. Others have less, others have more. And it distinguishes you because you are one of the few that are really experts in your domain. And so it shows a certain level of seniority, of expertise, And so it's a good line to have when you present yourself or to put in your resume that can open so many doors for you. And it also allows you to meet these people. So becoming an expert not only gives you that, but also gives you access to all of these experts through an internal system that allows you to get into contact with everyone, ask relevant questions, make friends in your own specialty, or even ask to be invited or get invited in events like this one right now. And well, pre-COVID, it was allowed to be there and make friends. Now, post-COVID, we have to deal with it online, but it really helps to meet people at a certain level, and it can help you grow in the place that you want to work on in the future, or even just to expand your influence. So in my case, I wanted to become a GDE because of the community activity more than the technical side. So I love teaching. And let me just stop the screen there. I love to teach, so I love to educate people. And so when I saw that becoming a GDE would open up the borders and allow you to give talks all over the world with so many kinds of people, that was one of the things that I want to really work on, and I love doing that, and that's what pushed me to finish that. And so what I really liked about this, and that I really want to push out, because I don't know how your system works out in whatever country you are, but in my case, our youth is our education system is more focused on memorizing things and working in private internally, not focusing on collaboration, not focusing on education, etc. However, and there are so many actors which are the minority, which are trying to tell people, no, go out of your way, participate in events, make some friends, work on some workshops, work on doing some sessions. And the vast majority is saying like, nah, not interesting. Whereas in GDEs, you cannot become a GDE if you are not an actor in the community, if you are not giving talks or workshops, if you are not contributing to open source, if you're not writing Medium article or whatever article it is, you cannot become a GDE. And that's one of the parts that I loved about it. And it does put importance, it prioritizes your activity in your community more than the technical expertise. The technical expertise is a must-have. However, you will be let's say evaluated on what you gave to what impact you made in your community more than the technical aspect. And I love that, and I do know that so many of us are trying to do that with their impact. And so what I'm trying to say here is that becoming a Google developer expert has allowed me to not only gain influence and reputation in my own country, especially as a young person. So I just started my 24 years, so by definition I'm still young, but it allowed me to get a reputation. It allowed me to get a higher salary. I now managed to work as a consultant. I can put my own wages, I can put my own hours, and this would not have been possible if I did not have the title. And at the same time, it did allow to show the community, show the people, at least in my country, that what I'm doing, like giving back to the community, organizing sessions, doing talks, helping others, does have a merit to it, and it is evaluated, it is seen as a good thing by the programs called Google Developer Expert. Now you might be saying, all right, so all of this might be interesting and blah, 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 but what do I get if I become a GDE? So let's say I do all of that. Let's say I start making sessions, I contribute to open source. What's in it for me? Well, I did mention that you will be put in the international experts directory, but at the same time, you will have access to many, many other things. So some of these are NDA protected, so I may not be able to tell them. But what I can tell you is that you will be given credits. So you can ask for credits on Google Cloud or access to some hardware, some material, so that can you work on your own projects or your community projects. You will also get free swag, so shirts, mugs, cups, whatever it is. You will get that, like this shirt I just got. But also you will also be put in premium opportunities that the public will not have access to until months later. So you'll be able to access and be the first people to access and to try some new technologies, to give feedback on some products. You can be one of the people that do that do influence a new project that will come out, and I can't say much in that. And at the same time, you will be put in a space where you can contact all the experts of all regions, of all technologies, put in contact all the GDG groups, so you can expand your influence. Maybe you want to meet some people from a new place, maybe you want to travel there. By the way, travel expense is partly paid for, so that's a plus. So there are a number of benefits on that, of why you should become a GDE, and this is not only work related. Second part would be if there are many GDEs in your area, well, that would show that there is quality labor there, so people are very experienced, and that means that more people will be interested in hiring from that place. And that's why I'm trying so much to try to make more GDEs from my country, because as there are more and more experience, the more higher recruiters will look into that place, and they will be looking forward to hire from that place because there's a quality, and so you can get more opportunities, you can get higher paying jobs or gigs. So there is an indirect benefit to it. Well, if this wasn't COVID, like if it wasn't for COVID, maybe I would have been able to talk to you indirect now. So I would have, my travel expense would have been paid for and would be there with you right now. So that's something that's affects all of us. But then you can also have access to only events that are exclusive, etc., etc. So this is like a few of the benefits that they can talk about. And this is also my experience, but now let me tell you about the process of like how you can become a GDE. So the process is actually 3 steps. There are 3 main steps that will allow you to become a GDE, and this may take time. So generally it takes months, 3 months at least, to become a GDE. And the first one is to be recommended from a GDE or from a Google employee. So first of all, you already need to have a network. You already need to know people to be put in contact with some other GDE in your field, or by a Google employee. So one of them has to recommend you, and then you can enter the pipeline, where you have to show like a proof of your expertise, both technical and community activity. So you will have to write a really big document with all the things that you did, and list out the events, list out the events you spoke at, the trainings you held, the sessions you held, the talks you gave. If you have any GitHub contributions, open source, if you have any articles you wrote. So you have to go into length also on the projects you've worked on. If you have any experience, well, you do have to have experience, so you have to put in detail your experience. So it's a really, really big document you have to write. And this is actually one point I want to stress on. So I do have a Google Sheets that I prepared for this, and I want to give you an example of what it would look like, because I really loved it. So you should be able to see my screen in seconds now. Yeah, there we go. So this sheet, which I call volunteering or community history, is basically a list of all the sessions I did, with the topic, the location, the venue, the date, the event in itself, a link if there's a link to the event in itself, the organizers, the theme, the type, the attendees. And you would need to have something like this. You need to have something like this to prepare your profile for the screening. So someone will read your profile and see how much or how many sessions you did, what's the quality of it. how many people you attended. This is very important. This is one of the most important things. So the number of attendees, and this only for live sessions. There's also online content. If you have any YouTube videos, so for example, this session now is recorded on YouTube, so I will then add it to my list. So you say when, what, how many views, if you have any courses, articles, if you did some projects, if you have teachings, if you did any awards, volunteering. So yeah, as you see, it's still ongoing. I'm still building up this sheet, but the most important ones will be the sessions you did, if you have any online content from text to video, and you need to put all of this in one document with your resume, with your experience, etc., 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 so that you can get the screening part. So once the recruiter, so once the GDE or the GDE or a Google employee recommends you, you will have to write a big document with all your experience in there. And one of the main key points will be the live sessions and the online content that you did. This is one of the biggest elements that will get you accepted. And once you do, well, you do make your document and it gets accepted and it says, okay, you're good enough, you will then go into the second part, which is the interview with an external expert. So you will get into an interview with another GDE in your domain, in your field. So in my case, I'm machine learning. So they put me up with another GDE in machine learning. And of course, you have no idea who it's going to be. You will know about it 2 days prior, so you don't get too much time. And this is the community interview. So the community interview will be specialized in what you did as community for the impact you did. So all of this, they will ask you about how long have you been active in the community, how many sessions, what you did, what you love. Tell us like why you do this, why are you so interested in the community, etc., etc. So to weed out the people that are just in there for the title, and that to only let the people that are really into it and want to work for to do impact, to only let them get into it. So this will be the community interview, and if you pass that one, well, you go to the third and final step, which is an interview with a Google specialist. So this is now the technical interview with a Google employee, not a GDE. And the Google employee will ask you technical questions. Now it will be more about, tell me about this part of machine learning or this part of Android. Tell me about the project you worked on. They might go into your GitHub. They might show you some code and ask you, what would you do in this case? They might put you into use cases. So it's really random because it depends on who the interviewer is, both in the GDE and the Google employee. So you need to be like really honest with yourself, honest with them, and you need to really know what you did. So maybe you need to brush up on some things just in case. But this is the part where you have to show that you are technically able to do this. And this is the part when you are technically able to work in your field and qualify as an expert. So each field has its own specialty, has its own qualifications. And then the community interview, which is the second one, will be more about your motivation and why you want to be here, etc., etc. So as is seen in the eligibility. So all of this takes about 3 months minimum to be done. And once you do, well, you will be put in the directory. You will get invited to workspaces, to internal systems where you can meet other GDEs, talk with them, get in contact with GDGs, programs, and be invited to premiere. Okay, so
it seems that we lost a few seconds of your talk. So
wait, how much was lost? I didn't know.
I think 20 seconds.
Okay, not much. Okay, this is weird because internet is working right. All right, so as I was saying, so this is a process. It takes 3 months to get there, and once you're in there, you get invited to an internal account. We can contact any other GDE, get into some exciting projects. You can work on projects before the release, and just get some credits, get some projects working on. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's educational stuff, there's programming, there's article writing, there's books, whatever it is, there's collaborations, so much stuff for each of you, each person's taste. Yeah. And I guess, so by now, I guess one important question would be, what's the threshold that qualifies me to start? So when do I know if I'm ready for that? I would say something like that. Like if it's technical, what's the threshold that I have to meet to say I can apply? If it's in community activity, same thing. Well, it depends on each field, and at the same time, some of it is still confidential, so I can't say that. However, I would say that like in most categories, you would at least need, I don't know, like a couple years of experience at the very least, and take it with a grain of salt. Like maybe you want to become an expert in a technology that hasn't been out for 2 years yet. So maybe if you have already 1 year in it and you worked on a dozen projects, that's fine, I guess. I would also say that you would become an expert if you have, I would say a good threshold would be, have you worked on it? Have you been paid to do this, like as a freelancer or in a job? So that means that you have at least the capability to do that. And the most, let's say, one of the biggest points would be, how much can you teach? Like at what level can you teach? That's a good indicator of how good you are. So if you can only teach beginners, that means you are intermediate. If you can teach intermediate, you are advanced. If you can teach advanced people, then you are one of the you are a very advanced person. Then you can say, all right, I'm very advanced. Maybe, let's say, I can become an expert. Maybe you can now, I'm a professional, so maybe you can now teach professionals. So I would say a good way to gauge your level is to say, what kind of people can I confidently teach? And if you see that you can now teach people who are already advanced, so you're not, for example, showing them the basics, but now you are getting into very advanced stuff, then yeah, I would think that's a good indicator that you reached a level where you can start to say, I can qualify for being a GDE, I can go to become an expert, etc. Now, of course, expert is just a title in the end. So there are a lot higher levels to attain. I'm really excited to go there. But I would say it's still a really rewarding title to have, because if you then want to apply to bigger jobs, or in my case, I want to apply to a PhD. I had a problem with PhD because there's a problem with hiring someone that you don't know. So usually professors prefer people that are from their own masters, from their own institute. So it helps to know if they are really serious or not, if they are, maybe people are lying on their resume. But then you have a title that is objective, like Google Developer Expert, and that has allowed me to get favorable treatment, better treatment, and allowed me to pass a few rounds of interviews in some places. So it's a good title to have, an interesting title to have, especially if you are self-employed or if you are still working on that. It helps you a lot. It really helps a lot. All right, so that's for the serious stuff. I would love to talk to you about the fun stuff. However, since post-COVID, there's not much of real life fun stuff, so I don't have pictures to show you. But we did have some online stuff, online parties, online events, online meetups, and so you meet a number of interesting people with that. And I think so. That's basically it globally. I don't know, maybe there are some questions, maybe there are things that I walked through too fast, maybe there are things that I forgot to talk about it. So if you have any comments on that, or if you have any questions on that, please feel free to ask. And I'm just going to go and read. There are some comments, so I see that there are some comments already. So I'm gonna just go and read.
We'll put them onto the screen.
All right.
The first one.
Thank you. Is it mandatory to be nominated by a Google employee? Yes. So it's either a Google employee or another GDE. So for example, I can recommend other people to become GDEs too. So in your case, try to become friends with a GDE in the field you want to, or if you are a Google employee, and either of them can nominate you to become a GDE, yourself.
Okay, but I will extend this question. Does that other GDE or Google employee need to be in the same field or not?
No, that's the good thing. So you might know experts in other domains, so you are free to recommend anyone in any field as long as it's listed.
Okay, thanks. And we have another question. What are the paths to follow in order to become a GD or GDE?
So I guess for GDE, I answered the question. So it's a 3-step process of getting recommended, then writing a big document of all your life, and then getting in community interview to show that you are really motivated and that you have a big experience in doing talks and organizing events. And then the technical interview where you prove your technical expertise. Now for GDG, I think you can answer better. You will be better than me to answer that.
Yeah, I think I can answer it. Technically, people could not become GDG because GDG stands for Google Developer Group. But you can either become a lead of the group. You can create a new one, or you can just join an existing GDG. I will put the link on the chat. Yeah, here it is. So you can visit this link and check if there is one GDG near place where you live, or you can apply for a new chapter. Yeah, but keep in mind if you want to become active and not to be delisted, you need to perform events like this one. You need to perform events regularly, at least one per each 3 months. I think due to COVID, it is relaxed, but yeah, you need to perform some events. You cannot just become GDG. You cannot just create a GDG and do nothing. Okay.
The same thing goes for GDEs. So if you're not active, you will be shown out the way. And by the way, I've just checked. So there are a number of GDEs in Poland, and there's even one in Wrocław. So is that how it's pronounced? Wrocław?
Wrocław.
Oh no, it's really different. Yeah, so there's already a GDE in Flutter there, and then there's also so many other GDEs. So maybe you can get into touch with them and see what they're doing, and why not they could recommend you for that. I would guess a local GDE would be way better in terms of credibility and because of nationalism.
Yeah, that one GDE in Flutter is also a member of our, so lead of our GDG Wrocław. Krzysztof Sroka, I think. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, now you know where you should go.
Yeah. Okay, we don't have more questions from the audience on the chat, but I have one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it easier to become GDE in one field than the other? For example, is it easier to become GDE in AI or machine learning than in Flutter? Because, for example, there is less GDEs in AI, or there is no such relationship?
So for that, actually, there are certain requirements that Google put for each category. So I cannot tell which one because it's one of the things that are indeed protected. However, there are requirements, very specific requirements for each category, and some of them, yes, I would say some of them would be easier because, for example, there is no years of experience requirement for example. However, I would say it depends on the maturity of the project, of the field, and how hard it is to get into it, or how hard it is now to get into the level of an expert. So I would guess that a new technology that's still not mature enough, that's been like for 5 years or 10 years, I would guess it's easier to become an expert in it than another. Or maybe it's the other way around, because since it's still new, there isn't too many like details to go into. For example, let's say in AI, there are so many branches of it, and so you can become an expert in just one thing, or you have to be like surface level on everything. So it's really hard to define what an expert is. However, in others, it's easy. An expert is someone who can, for example, rewrite who can contribute to the technology inside of GitHub, or they can rewrite another app using that. So it's really relative because, as I said, each field has its own requirement. But the best way to know is just to ask GDE in that certain category, and they would give you an overall answer, or best, or even better, tell you what you as a person need to work on to get to the level. So in my example, I can't tell my people, my friends, what exactly they need what exactly the requirements are. However, I take a look at the profile and I will tell them, all right, look, you should work on this and this. You should add this. I would recommend you to do this. And after 3 months, if they do, then I would say you're good enough. Let's go. So that's how I try. So the best way would be to ask a GDE in a certain category. And if anyone is interested in the chat to become a GDE in machine learning, I could tell you right here. However, I would like to expand on the question of previous question, which is the path to follow in order to become a GDE. So in that case, yeah, this one. So there are many paths to become a GDE, as I did some analysis on the other GDE profiles. So I found that some people became a GDE because they are really into trainings and workshops and talks. They do a lot of online content and video content like this one, and so that's what got them into the cycle, into the program. Others, however, are not really into workshops, but they are more into open source contributions. So if you look at the profile, they did a lot of open source contribution and just 1 or 2 online video workshops. And others worked on articles. So there are many paths to become an expert, because just because you know how to talk doesn't mean that you are an expert, and because you don't know how to talk or you don't want to do that, it does not discard you. So you can be good in other way, like a written form or an open source. All of them are impact. So I would guess as long as you are doing impact on your field, whether it is by doing progress in the technology, by contributing, whether it is on working on projects, writing articles, doing sessions, doing online content without having to interact with people, whatever it is, as long as you're doing content that is productive, that helps impact the environment, then you are on the right path to become not only a GDG, but become a really active community actor, and that everyone wants, like that every program wants. Google Developer Express is just one program. There are many other programs. So previously I was a Facebook developer, circle lead, which is like the equivalent of this one for Facebook, but it's more specialized on the community aspect. And whether it's Facebook, it's Google, the Microsoft ambassadorship, all of them want people who are active in their community, and the way that you do that can be really tailored to your needs. I think that's the beauty of it.
Okay, so I think that's all the questions.
Let me just finish, not finish, but let me just add something. So I really want to then share this video to other people who are asking more about details. And so I'm going to give some insight about machine learning, how to become the general requirements or the objectives. For machine learning, working on a real industry use case is a must-have. So there are researchers, yes, there are people who do only research, but working on real use cases or industry use cases, that's a very big boost, because Google wants people that can work on real life examples with real constraints that can help people afterwards. If also you have some local startups, if you have startup weekend or any event that is like a boot camp for events, and you've helped become a coach or a mentor in that, that's also a very big boost, because Google wants people that can help others, and there are programs like the Google Accelerator, being a mentor for students. They want people that can help others, so that's a very big boost. Open source contributions is also it's a good thing, but don't need to be too much into it. I, for example, am not a open source contributor. I've worked in industry for 2 years, so all of my work is NDA protected, and I did not get the time or energy to work on open source. But then the industry part is what helped. At the same time, certifications are a very big plus. So in my case, in the technical interview, I was lucky enough to have been certified the new Google Professional Machine Learning Engineer certification, which just came out. And I knew that I passed that exam like days before the technical interview. And when I started the interview, I just told them, hey, I just became certified with that one. And he knew the certification and said, oh, all right, then I guess we're good. I know that you're good now in this, because they know the certification. So he just asked me about where I used AI in industry, what did I do exactly, how did my contribution help the business in itself. So I would guess work on something that can be in industry, in business, mentor or help others in formal events, and the last thing, which is the first thing, which I already forgot, if you can help me remember, Carol.
Last thing, my question was if it is easier to become GDE in one field than the another field.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we already said that it depends, but there's something else. You can be a GDE in multiple fields. So this is an interesting thing. So you can be in machine learning and in Android, Flutter, or whatever it is. So I'm actually eyeballing the Google Analytics, Google Analytics and Google Cloud Platform GDE positions. I want to be there too. So I'm working hard with it, but in my case, I have a, let's say I can do a shortcut, because now I know what the requirements are to become one. So that's way easier to do it. But yeah, it's really interesting. I really love that I took the time and effort to become a GDE. I realized that there are so many talented people somewhere in this world that I would have never have a way to contact. And I would hope that many of the people that are right now watching this do follow this path and become GDE by themselves. So fingers crossed on that. And I guess that is it.
Yeah, it seems that is it. So thank you, Elyes, for the talk. If anyone wants to become GDE, can reach the Elyes. And,
yeah,
and
you can come to my Twitter. You can see my Twitter on my LinkedIn. It's the same, like it's the same name as the I think there it is. Yeah, it's this one. Oh, we have a question.
Yeah, we have a question.
If you're in the GDE and want to become one different field, do you still need a recommendation from someone else? No. At that point, no. you can directly contact the regional lead, or the one that's in charge of your region, and tell them, hey, I now want to try out this. I want to now enter the process for another field. In that case, you can contact the lead directly.
Okay, thanks. So two first people who asked the question, the Sainos Design and Hima 8541. If you want the license, JetBrains license, so please reach me on the meetup and we will send you. And so thank you again, yes, and see you on some of the next event, I hope.
Hopefully. Thank you for having me. Thank you everyone for being here, and hope to see many other people who will become GDEs in the next few months. So with that, I would say have a great night.
Bye.